Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. On Sunday, Manchester United ended Arsenal's unbeaten start to the English Premier League season, and in the process took their winning run in the league to 4 games. It was a cinematic debut for United's second most expensive recruit, Anthony, who tucked away a neat finish beyond Aaron Ramsdale in the 35th minute. A second half double from Marcus Rashford sealed what in the end was a convincing win against an Arsenal team that enjoyed large spells of dominance in the game. United's neighbours Manchester City, they failed to win on Saturday, held 1-1 by Aston Villa, for whom reggae boy Leon Bailey opened his account this season with a thumping left-footed finish. Bailey was interviewed after the game.
We spoke before the game, and you did sound like a man with genuine belief. Where did that come from after such a tough spell?
I don't know, I just woke up this morning and I think I just felt good about today. For some reason I was telling everybody, I think today was going to be a good day for us, and we just have to stay confident and believe in ourselves. And I think, as I said, the experienced players and the elder players in the group, even though it hasn't been so great for us, they have really lifted the spirits of the players, and I think that's what's important. You know, going into such a big game, and I think going out there from the first minute, everybody was on their toes, everybody was working for each other. It wasn't going our way in the first half, but we had to stick in there and just work our
Leon Bailey. So, what about the results, the full slate of results from round 6 in the EPL? Everton, Liverpool, 0-0 in the Merseyside derby. Leeds, their strongest start of the season, checked viciously by Brentford, 5-2 at the Bees winning. Chelsea, 2-1 over West Ham, controversy there. Controversy also in the game between Newcastle and Crystal Palace, which ended 0-0. Nottingham Forest led 2-0, and then astonishingly Bournemouth rallied 3-2, the Cherries winning. Tottenham held on to beat Fulham 2-1. Wolves, they snuck by Southampton 1-0, confirming Villa and Man City ending 1-1. Brighton, they took the strap to Leicester City 5-2 on Sunday morning. And then Manchester United beating Arsenal 3-1. Joining us to discuss the best from the weekend action is Simon Evans. Simon, welcome to the SportsMax Zone.
Good to be here.
Yep, let's start at Old Trafford. Manchester United and Arsenal, the Gunners taking the best record, the perfect record, the only perfect record in the English top flight to Old Trafford. And in the end, there were 4 goals in it. And I'm sure you're going to mention the one that wasn't, the Martinelli strike that was chalked off by VAR. The game had a lot in it. I tend to think, Simon, that many people say Arsenal had spells in the game where they dominated the game. I'm not sure I agree with that. I thought there were spells in the game where they dominated possession, but dominating the game suggests that the Man United goalie was flying all about, making saves, defenders making blocks. That never really happened, but they had long spells where they dominated possession. How did you see it?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and they used the possession very well. They weren't always a goal threat. You're absolutely right about that. But their movement and passing was really good, was really slick, was faster, and they looked sharper than United in playing the ball through the midfield. You know, Odegaard, I thought, had an excellent game, and Saka on the right looked really sharp as well. Martinelli was the one who had the chances. You know, we've seen Arsenal season after season over the last 5 or 6 years come up north and against City, United and Liverpool after they've had maybe some good runs of results, and then come up and get heavily beaten by the big northern teams. And you feel that Arsenal have been soft and we've seen them, you know, exposed. That wasn't the case this time. I think Arsenal can leave that game thinking, you know what, if we were a bit sharper, we had a bit more punch in attack, we could have won that game. I don't think it was a poor performance from Arsenal at all.
A tale of substitution, Simon. Arteta making 3 at the same time. The jury's out on how that affected the flow of his team and whether they had the desired impact on the game. What's not under dispute or in dispute, the introduction of Cristiano Ronaldo gave Manchester United something at the sharp end. And the introduction, I can't believe I'm saying this, the introduction of Fred shored up the midfield. So all of a sudden, Arsenal, which you noted how Odegaard and company were passing through that midfield with regularity and with ease. When Fred came on, that stopped. So I'm suggesting to you that Ten Hag's use of his substitutions, or the response he conjured from his substitutes, greater than Arteta managed from his, and perhaps his triple change with so much time left in the game was a desperate move too early.
Yeah, I think it was a bit too early, and I'm always a bit wary of substitutions triple subs. Now that we have 5, they're becoming more and more common. That's a big change to a side. You know, you're taking out a third of your outfield players, basically, aren't you? You know, so you're asking for those players to immediately get up to speed in a game that's been played at a very fast tempo, a top Premier League match, to come in cold off the bench and be able to be right up to speed, right up to rhythm, aware of everything that's going on around you. I think it's too much bringing on 3 players in general. It's the kind of move you do with 10, 15 minutes to go when you're desperate to sort a game out and get a goal or 2 to save something from a game. But you're right, Ronaldo did give something to United when he came on. Maybe this is going to be his role as an impact substitute, as incredible as it seems to say about someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. And Fred came on and gave it energy and you know, put himself about a lot, which is what United needed at that time. So United are starting to look like they've got options from the bench. Casemiro's going to be a starter soon, but he was coming off the bench as well. So, you know, there were a lot of positives for United in the game overall.
Yeah, and speaking of positives, what did you make of Anthony's debut for Manchester United? It's as if, you know, he was playing for them all the time and then he comes in and fit in properly.
Yeah, he fitted in very well. He looks lively on that side. I have to say, though, the goal celebration from Anthony was, you know, I don't think anyone can ever have enough badge kissing after this, because he was thumping the badge. He was like assaulting the badge. I don't know what. You know, the little kiss of the shirt is never going to be enough anymore. It was quite incredible to see, but he wanted to prove a point to the United fans. And, you know, he wasn't brilliant. He wasn't involved all the game in the game all the time. But when he was called upon, he was a cool finish, and he was always a threat when he had the ball.
Speaking of threat, Marcus Rashford this season seems to be stepping up for Manchester United more than we would have seen. Is he back to his best?
No, he's not back to his best, but his confidence is coming back. It's good to see. He's had a few goals now. He took his goals well. I still don't like him in that central role. I think he is better playing off the left or the right, off the left in particular. He makes the wrong runs when he's playing centre forward. He goes into the wrong spaces. He doesn't anticipate things. He doesn't look totally comfortable there at all. But having had a really poor second half of last season, to see him scoring goals, running at defenders, back, you know, celebrating goals in front of the Stretford end, Marcus Rashford is back in that sense in terms of his confidence and his feel. But I think there's a lot more to come from him, yeah.
Yeah, Simon, very measured response from manager Erik ten Hag about the team's success, suggesting that, you know, he doesn't consider themselves title contenders just yet, and for the Man United fans, maybe not to be sold too early on the revival process.
Yeah, I thought that was really important. It was the last question in the press conference from a journalist, and when he asked it, you think, is he going to fall into this one? Is he going to say, yes, we're title contenders and we're all going to go away to our laptops and write, Ten Hag says United can win the league? And he didn't fall for it. He's a smart guy, and he's right. They're not title contenders yet. But there are real signs that there are progress there. I think he's been backed in the transfer market. What happened in the last week of the window changes that discussion that we had after the Brighton and Brentford game, when we were saying forget about Manchester United this season. I think they can compete for top 4, but I think they're a way off yet being in the conversation with Manchester City and Liverpool for the title.
Yeah, let's talk about City and Aston Villa now, Simon, because we saw a good game that, I mean, if Villa had pinched it, I don't think even a curmudgeonly journalist could say they mugged City and took all 3 points. And if City had won, you'd have said, well, on the balance of play. But I really was impressed by the effort from Gerrard's team. And immediately when Leon Bailey bulged the old onion bag, Simon, you were on the WhatsApp to me saying Leon Bailey. So, yeah, that was a good game, a good goal by the Jamaican. But talk to me first about the Villa approach under Gerrard and him galvanizing the team after a rocky start.
Yeah, I mean, he was pragmatic. He did something which was against his instincts, I think. He left out Coutinho and Bondia, the 2 creative midfielders he has in his side. He usually plays one of them, sometimes both of them. Went with a much more solid-looking side, realising that against Manchester City you're going to be spending a lot of time playing without the ball. He pushed Jacob Ramsey, who I think is a fantastic young prospect, by the way. He pushed him into a more advanced role from midfield to make those runs, which he did, setting up the goal for Leon Bailey, which the Jamaican took superbly well. First time, very confident finish. And Villa, you know, he's been under pressure with Gerrard, and he went out and put a team out there to try and get a result like he got. So well done to him. It was a game where, you know, you would think it would be harsh for talking about managers' future after you get beaten by Manchester City. But that's what happens, isn't it? If you've had bad results before you play City, that result then gets piled on top of it. So it could be a little bit of a turning point for Villa. I think the players they've got, they should be comfortable mid-table. They shouldn't be worrying, as they are at the moment, about being at the wrong end of the table.
Yeah, there's enough time to talk about Erling Haaland and his 10th goal in 6 appearances. I just want to mention, Simon, that sometimes we talk about experience and players with experience don't show the value of that experience. I thought the Ashley Young introduction, Ashley Young locked Phil Foden down in that game, and for the veteran to still have the legs to get up and down the pitch and the brain, the tactical intelligence to be able to fit into the position that Gerrard wanted him, I thought that was a good substitution and a good performance from the substitute against a young player, Phil Foden, who's rising all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he was forced on by an injury to, I think, Matty Cash, wasn't it?
Yes.
He came on for. So it was a forced change. But I totally agree with you. When he came on, I thought, you know, Ashley Young, how long is it since we've seen him play, like, you know, a full game against top opposition? You know, he's coming towards the end of his career. He did superbly well. I mean, Foden is one of the top players in that position in the world now, I think. You know, I don't think we need to talk about potential with him anymore. I think he's up there. His movement's so sharp and quick. And he really did. You know, he had him in his pocket for most of that game. So I thought he did tremendously well. Haaland, I mean, what more can we say? We're running out of superlatives for this guy already. 10 goals in 6 games. It's incredible. You know, the way he rose, you know, for a volley in the back post, he was hanging in the air like a basketball player, you know? And I think we're going to watch him and see this is a new prototype of a centre forward. There's something almost unreal about him, and it's going to be fascinating to watch him develop. But I'm starting to feel this guy could be like the Michael Jordan of football or something.
Yeah, Simon, the producer says to remind you that you're staying with us for the next segment, the Hot Matter segment, where VAR will be spoken about. Stay where you are. Simon, stay where you are, viewers. Back with more on the SportsMax Zone after these